Hi guys, we're probably live on Facebook, so just FYI, I'm about to go ahead and admit everybody. So we've got about 1 minute. So I just want to say hi, let everybody in. So again, we are live on Facebook and in our Facebook group. I'm just going to let everybody in.
Okie dokie.
Aaron, I'm going to make you a co-host. If you could go ahead and just admit people that you see if they're not in, that would be awesome.
Sure. Where does that show for me to?
Oh, it should be at the bottom. You should be able to see, go to participants.
Okay.
And then you should be able to see like who's there since you're a co-host.
Okay.
And it'll show up in your right-hand corner. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Greetings.
Oh,
Do you have it there, Erin?
Yeah, I just was able to.
No worries, it's awesome. Just want to make sure. Hi, everybody. We are actually streaming live on Facebook so that everybody can watch the meeting. So feel free if you want to share that link. We're in the group and we're also in the on the page. There'll be a slight delay for it. So, and the great thing is if somebody has their closed captioning on, they can go ahead and have that in the meeting. How is everybody doing today?
Pretty good.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you guys so much for coming. Super appreciate it. We're going to give everybody just a few more minutes to come on in.
They're trickling in.
Looks like it, yeah.
Quick question. Do you know where the closed captioning options are? I'm trying to sift through the options on the Zoom desktop app, but I'm not.
Oh,
seeing
I'm talking about Facebook. Facebook Live will allow you to
okay, I
choose closed
see.
captioning. Yes. So
I see. I see.
We're streaming live on Facebook.
Oh yeah, you did mention that. My bad.
You got it. No worries.
Happy first IFA meeting as president.
Thanks, guys. Perfect.
There's Daryl.
Let everybody kind of get in so we can all see each other. So I'll probably officially start the meeting at 6:05 and just let everybody come on little by little. Thank you so much, Gabby, for making it. Next time I'll make sure to have some music playing so everybody can be entertained while we wait. Just
Some old jokes.
Exactly.
film jokes.
Perfect. Well, we've got everything.
Your stand-up routine.
I know, I need to work on that, right? Or we need to have somebody. I mean, we are Independent Film Arizona. I'm sure we can get some amazing comedians to do, you know, like a 5-minute cold open set for us.
It's
Just
live.
please.
It's live.
Exactly.
Just-
Oh, there you go. And Dalton. He can go ahead and do that, right?
Yeah.
That would be amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it in as a reference. The email address, if anybody has any questions that are not going to be answered, we just kind of have it there. Just going to populate it now.
It's good to see you guys, everybody that's joined us today. Thank you so much. I know this means a lot to Lisa and I as we start some new chapters in the IFA book, which she's gonna share with you guys tonight. And I'm really excited about it, and I think you are going to be as well.
All right, so we'll give everybody just one more minute. And again, we are live on Facebook. So if anybody wants to log into their Facebook and just kind of share, because you can go ahead and log in. And if you're friends with, if you follow IFA, and if you're in the IFA group, you can share that we are live, which I'm going to do right now on my app.
I think that's Laura joining us.
All right.
Okay. So excited to see a lot of faces that I know and to meet the people that I don't know yet.
Right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I have got my app on so we can keep track there. Hi, everybody. I want to go ahead and get the meeting started and welcome you all. Gosh, it looks like we've got a lot of people, so I'm so excited. So I went ahead and populated our email address for references for anybody, because I'm sure there's going to be questions as we go through in this meeting. And I want to be available, IFA wants to be available to you to answer those questions. So the email address is going to be super easy, independentfilmarizona@gmail.com. And you can just email whatever questions you have once we're at the end of the meeting. And once you start exploring the new website updates, so that we can go ahead and get any questions that you have answered about membership. And because we're going to change things around. So first, I want to thank everybody for coming in. And I'm just so grateful at the fact that IFA has continued to exist as an entity in any way, shape, or form, even after the events of the last 2 years. So first, I want to yield the floor to Jeannie Joseph. So Jeannie, I would love for you to address the IFA membership group. And we want to thank you so much. The entire board wants to thank you for your service. So Jeannie, I'm going to let you start the meeting and you take it away.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you, Elisa. And I think everyone's heard the exciting news, which is in keeping with our IFA policies. Every 3 years, we like to kind of see a change of leadership. And I'm just retiring just a little bit early. Because fortunately, there's a great group of people that are ready to step in and take over the reins. So that's very exciting. And it's been a wonderful 3 years. I want to thank everyone who's been so supportive of me through these 3 years and all the great projects that I've been able to work on. But I was counting it up. I've been in the movie business for 45 years.
Hey, Jeannie, can you wait 1 moment? Somebody's sharing screen and they shouldn't be doing that. So let me.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody's supposed to be sharing screen. So go ahead, Jeannie, continue.
All righty. As I was saying, well, I've been in the movie business for 45 years, so I think I'm entitled to a little break. And I think some of you know that I am the executive director of a new nonprofit organization, the Human Animal Connection, and we do a lot of wonderful work with veterans, active duty, first responders, bringing therapy dogs and other animals to them to help relieve stress. So that's going to take all of my energy. So I will have absolutely always keep an eye on all of you and maybe do some events during the year once or twice. Elisa invited me to do that. So I do have a friend who's starting a new streaming online platform, and he's very interested in IFA and would like to do a presentation for you folks. So hopefully we'll get that going in the next couple of months. And I just, it's been a wonderful 3 years, and I'm really just happy that Elisa's so excited, and everybody on the team, on her new board, Aaron and everybody and Laura. I think there's going to be a lot of new energy and a lot of good new changes, and it's just so exciting to see IFA move into a new chapter. And I just want to say thank you to everyone who's supported me along, and thank you to all the new people coming on board now.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeannie. Seriously, it has been such a tumultuous last couple of years. And before that, you coming on and taking the reins and really helping continue IFA's, existence here. So I wanted to go ahead and kind of refresh everybody's thoughts of IFA. So when Jeannie and Ann came to me and asked me if this was something I wanted to do, I reached out to my entire community. Being a filmmaker here for the last 25 years, we all know each other by 1 or 2 degrees of separation. And I wanted to get a feel for what was missing, what people were looking for, and the questions that people had. And the number one concern question that I had was, a lot of people didn't realize that IFA actually is a 501c3 nonprofit. So that means your membership is also a donation, and you can donate separately if you choose to do so and write it off on your taxes. And so I wanted you all to know that that is something that we fought for, that they began a long time ago.
Let's just sign out for a minute.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just, hey guys, I'm just gonna continue and then we'll open it up for questions. So a lot of people just weren't aware that this was something that was part of IFA. So know that save your receipts. If you're part of IFA and you're a member, you do get, that tax benefit as a 501c3. And like I said, we worked very hard. Jeannie also worked very hard to make sure we kept that, that in IFA's purview, which is great. So that is one of the biggest things that everybody said. The second biggest thing was the fact that IFA really does want to reach a broader audience. So I decided to go ahead and reach out and ask people within my community to join the board who were really functioning parts of not only the film community, but the business community. Because I think the biggest disservice that we've done for a very long time is the fact that we have not been accommodating to realize that the business community is such a big asset to the film community. And for those of us who have continued our career here for many, many years, we had to become business minded. So with that in mind, I made sure that when I did reach out to go ahead and fill the positions within the board, I reached to the direct people that I know that are making a difference in the business and the film community. So you're going to see a lot of people within our group that are business minded, that have been here to join the board. So with that, I want us to go through and introduce our board members. And since we're talking business, one of the first people I reached out to was Rebecca Kozowski. Rebecca is the Executive Vice President of the Marana Chamber of Commerce. For those of you who aren't aware where Marana is, they are a municipality right outside of Tucson and are included within Oro Valley, Sahuarita, Green Valley, all of the small little towns, but they are one of the most burgeoning, amazing, financially, fiscally responsible and wealthy towns within our state, and one of the safest within our state. And so when I reached out to Rebecca, it really was the fact that Rebecca has always been forward-minded and forward-thinking and just an asset to the film community these many years that I've known her. And the Marana Chamber of Commerce several years ago decided to do something that was kind of unheard of and kind of surprising that no one had done it. They decided to go ahead and launch a film committee within the Chamber of Commerce because they realized there is such a great burgeoning community of independent filmmakers and legitimate crew that work right out of Southern Arizona. So when she did that, it really opened up this amazing liaison into the community between film and television, and of course the Marana Chamber of Commerce and all digital realms of the entertainment industry. So they're forward thinking in that, and they are still at this point still the only ones who have done so within the entire state of Arizona. They're the only chamber that has a committee that has their purview is for the film committee. So Rebecca, I would love for you to go ahead and take it away, introduce yourself, and tell us about Marana and the film committee, because I really want people to get a feel for the assets and what you guys have to offer there. Hey, Rebecca, for some reason we can't hear you, so.
I think she's muted, so.
Not a problem. If you could unmute quickly, then we'll go, but if not, I can move to somebody else. Go ahead. Always the technical difficulties. So, hey, Rebecca, why don't you get that straightened out? Let me know when you're ready. And what I'll hop over to is another great asset that we were able to have join the chamber. So one of the reasons that my company and I live in Marana is because Marana as a town is very business minded. we came here purposely. I moved here several years ago, being a Southern Arizonan for so many years, because they really were forward thinking. Again, the chamber that's here. But one of the things they did create was a film office, which is housed right out of the Economic and Development Department within the town of Marana. And the smartest thing they did was to name Laura Cortelyou to that office. So Laura, I would love for you to introduce yourself and welcome you onto the board of IFA as one of our assets.
Thank you, Elisa. And it's really quite a pleasure to see so many familiar faces. And many of you, I think, have also worked in Marana. And if you haven't made a film, maybe you've written a screenplay that's just perfect to produce in Marana. So thank you all. About 4 years ago, I started the Marana Film Office, and it's the 5th film office in the state of Arizona that it's a member of the Association of Film Commissioners International. So I've taken the trainings through AFCI, become certified and taking the advanced coursework as well, and helped about on average 27 film projects a year in the last 4 years. So it's been building, and this year is already over 27. And the first year was, of course, under 27, but that's, and that includes everything from issuing permits. I'm also the film permit officer for the town of Marana for any filming that takes place on town property. I will issue you that permit to film on town property or town right of way or at the Marana Regional Airport, any of our parks. So otherwise, you don't need a permit to film in Marana. You can film on private property as much as you want to your heart's content without any government being involved, unless you would like to have access to the resources that I can offer you, which are free location scouting. As many places, there's no limit on how many locations we will look at in the town of Marana. And referrals and hotel discounts and anything else that I can get to help you. So it's been really gratifying to help this community. And I have, a great learning experience, and just overall, it's just incredible to work on your projects. So anyway, thank you. And with that, I will just mute myself.
Thank you so much, Laura. You're amazing, and I do appreciate you. So Rebecca, are you ready to take it away?
Well, I'm trying. Truthfully, I think my earbuds weren't just plugged all the way in. So it was like a real, okay, I was an idiot. So hello, crowd. I'll try not to be an idiot anymore. Ha. Anyway, so with our help with Laura from the town, we were discovering that a lot of film people that we knew with great craft and artists and creative backgrounds were not actually getting a lot of work because everything was closing down with COVID. But pre that, our members that were business members did not realize how they could use our members that were film in doing advertisements and corporate videos, and they weren't just using that at all. So part of that was highlighting that our members could actually be part of the business community and help make them money. So part of what we did as part of we are the only film and multimedia committee chamber in Arizona. And with that said, we decided that we would go for a governor's grant that was putting out for helping with COVID in 2020. And so that was putting in a recording studio at the Marana Chamber of Commerce, because we had just we're in the process of moving to a new office. So the point would be that any chamber member could use the recording studio at no cost to them. They would own the platform, whatever it is that was produced there. Our chamber members that were on the film committee would offer some discounts, didn't have to be anything that huge. We had partnerships with media so that they would get discounts there. So bottom line, they own the platform, our members do, they can use it for whatever. And so we're just trying to make our community strong, our film community strong, and work in economic development and workforce development, because we're all in it together in Southern Arizona. So that the rising tide floats all boats. So that's my spiel.
Fantastic. And do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, Rebecca, so the board can, or the membership can get to know you?
I did have a background in entertainment long ago. I was a professional dancer in theater and early Tucson, but kind of put that on hold, went into business myself, was in contracting, was only one of the only women contractors in Arizona, in Southern Arizona in the 70s, or I'm sorry, the 80s and 90s. And then started a marketing firm because I had a background in marketing and events, and went on to produce 4 membership companies or membership associations, events like PGA Tour. Let me see, we did a ton of alumni associations, civic memberships, like the Moose and the Elk. We did Experimental Aircraft Association. We did, I have so many I can't even mention, but they were all association-based events. So I know associations and membership organizations like the back of my hand can develop sponsorship programs, do studying on demographics and the stats. So if you want to sell anything, you got to know the data. And that is, I would say, my expertise besides thinking out of the box. So and now I have been at the chamber also since 2010, done a lot of program development, membership development, and so I could go on a few years on this. So I will give you all a break, and but I'd love to meet one-on-one with anyone and get to know you all better and see how we can all work together to bring IFA to the greater community and everybody make money too.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rebecca. I so appreciate it. And Laura, I didn't get to, like, would you like to just say a little bit about yourself? I know you probably wouldn't, but I'm going to ask that you just say a little bit about who you are, if you could tell us about yourself.
Okay, I hate this part. I moved here from California 8 years ago, and I have worked in the arts. That was the first area that I worked in. I started in art museums, then I worked in theater, and I worked at the Seattle Repertory Theater at probably the peak, right when it got after it got the Emmy for one of the best regional theater companies in the United States. And it was amazing. And then I moved back to my hometown of Santa Barbara and worked in 2 big theater companies there as well, heading up marketing. So that's what I did. I then got into publishing, but I have a lot of friends who became either actors or work in the film industry currently. And I've been helping them make films and do crazy stuff that I won't talk about because we're being recorded, that may or may not involve really bad performance art. That was done at Al's Bar in Los Angeles that I will deny I was ever there. And there's probably no video, so it didn't really happen. But anyhow, yeah, so I have friends, crazy friends who went to Cal Arts, and friends who went to Circle and Square in New York, and friends who didn't go to theater, to film or theater school. Friends, I have 4 friends that worked at the USC School of Film. And so, so I got a lot of exposure. So of course, my family has been in California in either LA or Santa Barbara for the last 100 years, but I have to move to Arizona to get involved with the film community as part of my job. How contrarian is that? Okay. And I study the history of art architecture. So like, you know, you guys, if I had like one piece of paper, here's the history of film compared to the history of art. This is like the time scale, history of art and art, here's film, and here's like everything else, okay? So I know something about this part too, and then this part. But anyway, just to say, it's all fun. It's the most fun to be involved in your own time rather than looking in the rearview mirror at history. Although of course, I love the silent film era too. So it's like, I can't stop. I'm always going backwards, looking at the oldest stuff I can possibly find. So anyway, that's just the kind of thing I kind of nerd out on. That's it. I will stop because you all have plenty more to say that's of interest. But anyway, thank you again for being here and being so tough that you can do this here in this environment. That's not the easiest environment for film production and mounting film festivals and all that kind of stuff. It's a little bit of a struggle compared to where I'm from. And I admire how tough you all have been to stick it out, and really because you love this as your culture. And that has kept me wanting to get more and more involved to become, you know, supportive in ways of building out the infrastructure. How can we approach this as cultural economic development and tourism and all of these things that are so woven into the history here of Southern Arizona, because you had 4 silent film companies filming here from 1913 to 1915, and that's on the Marana Film Office website on the tab that's called movie tourism, because I wanted to document that somewhere. And I think a lot of people knew about 2 of those 4 silent film companies, but I found 2 other ones that I don't know that a lot of people knew about. Eclair, the French camera manufacturer, had a Tucson unit in 1913, and also Flying A Studios, that was based in Santa Barbara at the time, had a Tucson film unit as well in 1913. So there were no fewer than 4 companies making films here, silent reels. So anyway, and maybe we'll make something around that, some kind of a tourism program around that. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be incredible. So thank you so much, Laura. I think it just really shows that there's such a huge community here, and some people were aware and some people weren't. But the accessibility of these folks is really essential to, you know, the longevity of what we're doing. So I want to go ahead and next introduce, I thought long and hard about who I thought would be great to come in as a vice president for IFA, because you know, the president and vice president, in my mind, for IFA really needed to work hand in hand to really take IFA to where it needs to go. And I almost see this person as the co-president of IFA, because she has been working so hard and is so altruistic and so, you know, just such an amazing person in letting us take up her time and help IFA. So that's Erin Benzahopper. So Erin, I would love for you to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself. And thank you so much for coming on the board of IFA.
Oh, thank you, Lisa, for trusting me with this position. It really is an honor to know that you value my input and my creativity as a filmmaker. So thank you for that. And I've received so much support from the other board members, from Jeannie as well. You know, to have her support actually means a lot, as well as the prior president. My history is that I've been professionally doing film since 2003. I currently have my own production company called Rising Up Entertainment, and my focus as a filmmaker is to create movies that uplift people, and also showcase stories of people that are in the minor groups, you know, the minority groups, the LGBT, women's rights, people of color, what they face, and to show just how beautiful those people are and what they are offering to the world, so that they're not feeling that they're forgotten or not seen, because I see them. So that's sort of my purpose in filmmaking, but also it's been a passion of mine to bring film back to Tucson specifically, because that's my home, but to Arizona, not even just Southern Arizona, to Arizona, because I was fortunate that I did co-produce a film in 2005 called The Decoy, which, you know, it is a good film in that it showcases what Arizona has to offer climate, not even just climate wise, like we shot at Old Tucson, we shot at Mescal, we shot in Benson, we shot in Wilcox, and just the variety of landscapes. We really wanted to use that film to showcase what you can find here. And we're not just a desert. So it really has been a passion of mine to showcase what Arizona has to offer and what type of crew we have to offer, because we have an incredible talent pool of crew that you know, is sadly underutilized. And you know, I feel like the shift in the Independent Film Arizona Association nonprofit is really going to help bolster how we are looked at in the community, but also how filmmakers are looked at, how we here are looked at from other states, to bring in their excitement to shoot here, because they know they can get quality locations and quality crew. So I feel like that's a passion I bring on board. And also I bring a passion to help foster the younger generation that's coming up. I love the YouTube generation. I love that they have an outlet of creativity, but I also know that there is still, I'll just say, Hollywood standard set procedures, and I want to help introduce that, you know, to these younger kids, to say, did you know that there's, you know, an audio person and this is what they do? Do you know that, you know, there's a set designer? And maybe even reach out to art students and be like, did you ever realize you could have a job in film? So that's a long-term goal of mine, to help also bridge that gap with the younger generation filmmakers.
Thank you so much, Erin. And
Yeah.
Erin is just an amazing person. If you guys know her personally, she's such a treasure to know in general. And I wanted to go ahead and see if one of our other board members, she wasn't feeling super great today. Hey, Gabby, are you still in, or did you head out of the meeting?
Still here.
Are you there? Oh, there you are, Gabby. I would love to. So I know there's going to be people who, I have had the joy of getting to know this person. I'm really lucky. My career has allowed me to work in many different facets of the industry. And one of those facets was television for many years. And I met some amazing people. And one of them was a gal who worked in our accounting payroll department, Gabby Trejo. And Gabby is just amazing. I had the honor of attending her wedding to her husband, and we became fast friends. So one of the biggest pain points within IFA is finding a legitimate person to run our treasurer. And so we dug really hard, dug really deep, and I reached out to Gabby and asked her if she'd be interested, and she was, and I was so flattered. So Gabby, I would love for you to come on and just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and if you need to head out shortly after, no worries, but please introduce yourself to the members of IFA.
Thanks, Elisa. My name's Gabriela Trejo, and I don't know much about the film industry, but I worked at KBOA for over 12 years, and I did the payroll and accounts payable there. And so, yeah, this is exciting. It's just something new for me. Numbers aren't new, but this is new for me. So I'm really excited, Elisa. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Tell us about your history in Arizona, just really quick. You don't have to talk about it too much, but just kind of, you know, how long you've been in Arizona and all of that good stuff.
I was born in Kearney, Arizona, a very small town, but ended up in Tucson in middle school. So I'm an Arizonan raised.
Yes.
What was that?
I think that was from,
Somebody just unmuted. It's okay. Go ahead, Gabby.
No worries. But yeah, I'm born and raised here, and started doing accounting in about 96. So yeah.
I love it. What I love is that Gabby is truly a numbers person. And so, you know, I'm asking for bios and info from people and she's like, I don't know what to say. You know, because those of us in the industry kind of have to know how to talk about ourselves. But Gabby is, I really wanted to have a strong financial component to IFA moving forward with somebody who really understood how to, you know, how finances work. So that was more of what we were looking for as a board, rather than somebody who was really embedded in the industry. So we're just so excited. Thank you, Gabby, so much for coming on board.
I'm excited. Thanks for having me.
Perfect. So I know that he may, Alan, are you there to talk or are you still, I know you stepped away for a moment. Oh,
I'm unmuted. Is it working? Testing, testing.
yes, we hear you. Can we see you or are you going to stay incognito?
You know that incognito, just because when I go just with audio, it tends not to freeze up. For some reason, it freezes up all the time when I do.
Not a problem. I want to introduce Alan Williams. Alan and I have known each other for many years. And I got to know him when we were working on a project together where he came in as a director and a producer. And I found that he is just an incredible person in general. He just is he's so abnormal to the industry when it comes to being so giving and so thoughtful. And especially as, I mean, a lot of us women who are in the industry dealing with other men, it's a difficulty sometimes just because there's not a lot of collaboration. There's a lot of, you know, a bit of an ego there, but with Alan, he has just been such an amazing asset and such an amazing talent. Alan will not tell you all of the awards that he's won, which are many, many huge awards. He has worked on films in California as a producer, also as an assistant director, and also as an award-winning director and award-winning screenwriter. He is one of the best screenwriters I know, and definitely one of the best directors I've ever worked with. So Alan has been a member of the board previously to IFA, and I asked him if he'd be willing to come back and join the board because his level of experience and knowledge is just going to help us so much. And the fact that he owns his own business. So Alan, I would love for you to tell us more about yourself.
Wow. Thanks, Elisa. All right. So I've been in Tucson for a very, very long time. Grew up here as a kid back in the 70s, moved away for a little bit, went to high school in Phoenix, back in town, graduated from the U of A film school back in '93. Back in those days, we all shot on film. And then the video revolution came after that. So I've done, you know, music videos and short films and web series, feature films. I'm in post-production right now on a feature that we shot here in Tucson with a local cast and crew. That's really turning out to be a special project that I'm hoping. It's weird the way things are going on. Things are happening right now with the arrival of the J.J. Abrams project and so on. And I think the spotlight might be coming back to Tucson. And the goal of this film, one of the goals of this feature that we just got done shooting and we're editing right now, is that we wanted to feature the versatility, not only the versatility of locations in Tucson, but the talent and versatility of local cast and crew, which I think is underappreciated. But I've spent the past bring the film community together. Now, certainly I wasn't alone in that. I think there was a number of us that have been trying to get us all to pool our resources. I was involved. I formed an entity called Picture Arizona a few years ago with some people here locally, where we brought together the business community, the film community, and the local political community, because we thought if we pooled our resources, we could actually reinvigorate, I guess, the independent film community. We realized that the tax incentive thing wasn't going to happen. No matter how many times people asked us to call our state representatives, it just wasn't, it's not in the cards, at least from my perspective. And so myself and some enterprising other people got together and we formed this group that sort of brought together business leaders and political leaders and film community leaders and tried to push forward with advancing the directive to let's create our own film industry here. And we'll see where that's headed. But I will tell you that the things that are happening with Marana in regards to the Marana Film Office and how they've taken the bull by the horns and just said, screw it to, if I may be so bold, to the industry and sort of the local forces that I think have impeded our progress in this area. Marana's just said, to hell with it, we're going to go ahead and do it ourselves. And I think that's exciting. So when Elisa asked me to come on the board again, I mean, I can remember going to IFASA meetings, if any of you remember IFASA before it became IFA many years ago. And so I'm excited about the evolution of this group. I think that there is a tremendous opportunity, if done right and with the right leadership, that this can become the professional organization that it needs to be, that not only provides an opportunity for us to network and work together to advance our goals, but also embrace and nurture upcoming filmmaking talent and set them up for success so we can pass the baton on to them. It's a big mountain to climb. We've been doing it for a while, but I was pretty excited. I mean, Elisa's she has a pretty decent pitch, if you will. And I'm excited to be and honored that she felt that I was worthy to jump on the board with you guys. So looking forward to seeing what we do next. And that is enough about me. Let's talk about you.
Thanks so much, Alan. You're amazing. So there was a question. So I'd love for you to, if you could disclose the name of the project that you're currently working on. They wanted to know.
It's the working title, but I think if they're probably going to go with it, it's called 8,000 Feet Up. It's a sort of a Hitchcock style thriller. Three strangers meet at a campsite. One of them is a psychopath, and I'll leave it at that.
Nice. Good pitch. See, Alan's such the writer at heart with a great log line. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Alan. So I wanted to see if Edgar, are you available to chat? I know that Edgar was working. He actually works at all of the members of the board work in the industry. So if Edgar is available, I would love for Edgar Ibarra to come off of mute if he's able to. Oh,
can you hear me?
Oh, I can.
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing? Hi, Lisa.
Hey, Edgar. So when I was reaching out to the community to have people join the board, I really wanted to have a diverse group, not just people who work in the industry, but also worked as other positions within the digital media realm. And Edgar's one of those, has done all kinds of things. Many of you may know him as strictly a filmmaker who has great award-winning work that has been showcased here in Tucson, but he's also a guy who has a great job working for KVOA, and you've won Emmys before, correct, Edgar? Through
Yes, correct.
KVOA. So
Yes.
He is an Emmy award-winning member of the KVOA staff. So it was something that I felt with all of that, I approached him and asked him if he would join our board, and he thankfully said yes. And he's just a great person to know in general with a really big heart. So Edgar, I would love for you to tell our membership about yourself.
Cool. Well, thank you first and foremost, everyone, for having me. I'm honored to be on the board with so many of you who are so accomplished. So I'm frankly just honored. I mean, I can say it 10 other ways, but I mean, it all comes down to that. So I really am honored to be on the board. Thank you for having me. I was born in a small town called Los Angeles in California. And the wind blew me this way in '98 after high school because of my dad's job, but I really didn't show up here till '01. And so from '01 to '03, I didn't know anybody, and Tucson embraced me. And then in '03, but growing up in my time in LA, I started messing around with video cameras and editing VHS, VCR to VCR. And, I just fell in love with storytelling in a time in my life where, because of some personal difficulties in my personal life, I just couldn't focus on school. But for some reason, storytelling through images came very naturally, and especially in a time when, before YouTube and whatnot. And so I had always dabbled in that for a while. But then in '03, when I moved here, I'd already been here for about 2 years. I got an opportunity to work for Telemundo. So I worked for Telemundo for 3.5 years, for KOLD for 5.5 years. And then for Channel 4, KVOA for almost 10 years now. But in all that time, and it's been a very blessed career, a lot of bad days and a lot of good days, just like anywhere else. But the thing is that I continue to do it because I continue to be in love with, first and foremost, and mainly storytelling in its various forms and flavors. And so so much of what I was doing in the news industry, as the news industry gave me an opportunity, so much of that crossed over, shooting, editing, audio, lighting, etc. And in even more so a news environment where you're actually expected to do more with less, but I can, like anybody else, I can't do it all. And so so all throughout that time, the film school that I was not able to go to, called the Brooks Institute of Photography, and at the time in Santa Barbara, California, I think they're in Ventura now, I got accepted in the year 2000, couldn't go because of financial issues. Basically, I couldn't get the full loans or anything like that. So ironically enough, the news industry became that film school for me that I was not able to attend, except, you know, I was blessed to get paid and then have benefits and whatnot. So all the time through, I never stopped making films. I never stopped pursuing films. If it was, you know, the days when all I could buy was food off the dollar menu for my actors and actresses, then, you know, it goes back that far. So I really started making movies in 2002, and I really started to find and craft my voice mainly here in Tucson, because I've never lived anywhere else in my adult life. And so, you know, there's a body of work that goes back to 2002. I won't go into all of it, but most recently there is All We Have. That was, you know, the romance love story that I wrote, shot, directed, and edited, and put out on the front end of the year back in late February. And it did really well, and it was supported. And I was so blessed and so honored to have so much support from so many people to come out. But one of the biggest things that I'm happy about with regards to the experience from All We Have being in Harkins late February, all throughout March, and then even dipping into April before moving on to Phoenix for just 1 week, and then also Yuma, also just 1 week, was the biggest thing that I was happiest was that the movie demonstrated, you know, that it has its flaws. It's not a perfect movie, and I always like to be the first one to say that. But biggest thing that the movie demonstrated was that there are stories to be told here, Tucson stories, Southern Arizona stories, however you want to say it. The stories are here, and working efficiently, working with the resources that we do have, the great people and the great community in front of and behind the camera that we do have to work with. I'm really happy that the movie demonstrated that we can tell stories here, even of a micro budget level. And so I'm very passionate about that point in particular. I by no means see All We Have as, you know, the poster child, because there's so many other great independent micro budget films that have come before that inspired me to then, you know, see that, oh, I can tell a good story here in Tucson. And so, you know, something with substance that I aim for. So I'm in love with the concept of making movies, telling Tucson stories, telling local stories of the very true movies that are very true to real life here. And so yeah, that's been the peril of my life. I'm married, got a couple of 4-legged fur babies. I like to hold hands, long walks on the beach, and tacos. And yeah, that's what I can say. And I'm just looking forward to making more movies here in Tucson with the resources at hand, and just telling very substantive storytelling with the tools and the resources that are at hand. So I've always worked, truth be told, mostly in the grassroots independent realm. And I'm so proud of that. And I'm so proud of everyone who was involved in All We Have. And I'm proud of, and I'm so thankful for the support that the film and you know, years of making movies has received. So I just can't be more thankful. Like, I'm really, really thankful, because this does show that with the internet, cameras, everything that we can do here autonomously, that we can do our thing here. we can do our thing, and lo and behold, it can also maybe even be profitable too. So, but we can do our thing, and I'm really, really excited to see what the IFA, or what I can bring to the table for IFA with regards to further backing that point of the fact that we can do things here. Just that.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, Edgar. And I know that you're always busy working. As like you said, like a lot of our board, we all have jobs. And, just a reminder though, this is a fully volunteer board. We're a fully volunteer organization. We do not have an executive director, or we don't have any employees. That is something we'll work towards as we grow IFA. But as of right now, we just do it because we really feel that IFA is such an asset to Arizona. So thanks so much, Edgar. I so
Thank you.
appreciate that. So I think Jeff Brack also he was in our meeting earlier, but unfortunately had to step away. He is our new secretary, and I do have his updated bio on our website. So I'll go over that once we go ahead and hear from our last board member, who actually is a member who had been on the previous board and is going to continue through the end of the year with us. So Anne, I would love for you to go ahead. I know we have a lot of people maybe that may be new to IFA. So I would love it, even though many people may know you, Anne, but I would love for you to unmute and tell us a little bit about yourself as other than Jeff, the final member of the board of directors for IFA, if you're still there.
Okay, thanks, Elisa. Well, a lot of you do know me, but for those of you who do not, and some of you may not know some of these things I'll share, I have my own production company, A. Dalton Films. So I focus on short docs, and founded the documentary work group, which is more recently called the IFA Production Collab, about 6 years ago, and led that for a long time with the help of some great co-chairs. And the group is in hiatus right now until we get all this sorted out about the direction of IFA. But we did some good work and produced some stuff we were proud of. And the purpose of it was to help new filmmakers get some expertise from more experienced people and learn to make films themselves. So I'm looking forward to having an even stronger opportunity to offer new filmmakers in town under Elisa's guidance. And I myself moved from North Carolina 12 years ago, and I was actually in a totally different career. When I retired, I went back to school to study journalism, and after doing that for 3 years, I fell in love with making films. So I've been making short docs ever since about health and community life in Tucson. And so that's me. And I was really excited when Jeannie and I talked to Lisa about whether or not she'd be interested in being the president, since Jeannie was leaving, and she and I were the last two standing board members. I was really excited to know how excited Elisa was about taking this challenge on, and her a very broad vision and her experience in participating in and running nonprofits. So I'm excited about the next few months, and so thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Anne. And Anne is just incredible. She has been so giving of her time and so responsive to all the questions I've had, because this transition has been a slow process, because I wanted to make sure we covered all our bases, and that we had a really good idea of where IFA was, and where, if we could take it in the direction that I felt to grow it in a way that was still honoring what IFA stands for. Thank you so much, Anne. I appreciate that. So unfortunately, Jeff, like I said, Jeff Brack, our secretary, had to step off. So I wanted to just read a little bit of a bio that we had from Jeff. So for those of you who may not know, Jeff Brack is a graduate of U of A Film School. He actually runs, he's the creative director for Roadhouse Cinema. And so I love Roadhouse. I think it's my favorite theater in town. So it's so great. It's owned by Arizonans, which is wonderful. But here's what Jeff's bio says, just so you guys know about him. Jeff is a director, writer, and producer of short films, a television pilot, and a feature film screenplays. He attended the University of Arizona, and where he received his Bachelor of Fine Arts in Film and Television Commercial Production. He was also a commercial producer at Fox UPN here in Tucson. He wrote and developed 2 feature scripts, Nevada racing flick called Flat Out, and a rom-com called Window Girls. Short film Willow Creek, which I actually worked with him on when we were in film school together, was very well received at numerous film festivals. And right now, Jeff he has developed and produced the pilot for a teen drama series called The Academy. He has joined some friends, and this is what, with Roadhouse Cinema, joined some friends and colleagues to launch the highly successful premier dine-in movie theater chain, Roadhouse Cinemas, spearheading marketing and production of original screening content. And he is currently in development of a new feature film project, which is really exciting. And Jeff, I had been talking to Jeff about this before COVID had hit. So, there's a lot of COVID issues. So I am the last one. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Elisa Cota Francis. I am the CEO of ArcLight Pictures and a company, Vontify. And I have been in Southern Arizona. My family's been here since it was Mexico and even before then. So I'm very familiar with Arizona. And having been a part of the Arizona community my entire life, I absolutely adore Arizona. I am a graduate of U of A Film School, and I enjoyed a very lucrative college in the sense of I actually started working in the business while I was in college. I began in college working for Arizona Public Media, the PBS affiliate in town, where I began my sound career. And I was able to take that and become a professional production sound mixer, and started working in the industry while in college. And I love Arizona and carved out an entire career over 20 years here because of how much I love Arizona. So when Anne and Jeannie came to me to talk to me about IFA, it was something that I felt as a filmmaker and an Arizonan, such an asset that we could not lose it. And I had a lot of great ideas of where I felt we could take this. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and introduce some of the big things that we have. The board has already met. We have been vigorously working on a lot of ideas and listening to each other in regards to the different ways that we want to move forward. So there are a lot of things that we're working on that we'll unveil as we go. But one of the biggest things was membership. I love that we have so many meetings a year, but I felt like the biggest thing when I spoke to people who were previous members, current members, they were really missing this networking, informational meetings. We were having these meetings that then highlighted somebody having a spotlight to talk about their projects. I wanted us to go back to the idea of what a lot of chambers do, which is getting to know each other and networking within our community. So we decided as the board that we're going to go ahead and change up how meetings are and to make them less often, but more beneficial to the membership base. So we are shifting over to a free membership base where you'll get 4 meetings that you can come to a year, once a quarter. So which comes out to 4 meetings a year, where you'll get to come and attend for free. And that will include a networking informational meeting. That is exactly what these meetings on Zoom are now going to be doing. We're going to bring you in, and rather than us talk about who we are, I just wanted to introduce you to the board. Rather than all of that, we're going to discuss with each other what is going on. I have numerous messages, not only in the chat, but people asking about incentives, about what's going on with Old Tucson, what's going on with Mescal, what's going on with so many different aspects of filmmaking here in Arizona. And that's really what we need to get down to. These meetings are doing these updates that will at least happen 4 times a year. They may happen more often depending on if there's a big shift or something big happens. We will then go ahead and I will absolutely bring us together so we can say, hey, this has just happened. Let's talk about what is going on right now, because you as the IFA member base need to be informed what is happening in your backyard, because we're in the middle of a huge influx of work. The whole industry is about to shift. And we're about to enter the big stage when it comes to filmmaking. And that is our job as the IFA board and as IFA Independent Film Arizona, is to prepare you for the fact that we're about to join the big leagues in production. There's not a lot of us can say because we're under a lot of non-disclosures, but within the next month, you're going to learn about large productions that have entered this. That is our job as the IFA board. So we're not opening up for questions yet, guys. So we're going to keep going. And so there are things that are happening. So with that, the membership is going to switch to productions that have entered. Sorry, somebody keeps unmuting mistakenly. So we are going to shift over to those meetings. Now, when we have the meetings like this, they're going to be much more networking intensive. We're going to have breakout rooms. We're going to get to know each other. You guys are going to be able to talk about the projects you're working on, what your pain points are, what you want to work on. We as the board also want to go ahead and find out, what do you need from us? So we are still going to have a paid membership to IFA. That paid membership is now going to become much more beneficial. So with that, we are going to introduce levels to membership. So I'm going to go ahead and Aaron, if you could do me a favor, if anybody accidentally chimes in, could you mute them for me? And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can just go over just quickly a snapshot of what the new, you know what, let me go back in the wrong. I'm just going to, I'm going to show you what we are doing within, okay. And we have updated the membership to IFA. So here's what it's going to look like now. So whenever somebody comes in to join IFA, they're going to get directed to this page about becoming a member. We are opening up membership to people around the world. We, unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to go to a completely virtual platform, but this has opened up more members. And because of my community within Clubhouse and other realms that I network in, I have already brought members to the table who have become members of IFA who are not in the state of Arizona. So we are going to, you can either join IFA as a resident or a non-resident. Now, the benefits are exactly the same when it comes to what we offer right now. Obviously, members in Arizona will get more lucrative benefits once we get to more in-person events, in-person meetings, things that happen in person. So we may look at the structure for non-Arizona residents a little differently once we get there, because we don't want to overcharge them for membership when they're not getting the full benefit. But right now, membership is exactly the same as an Arizona member or a non-Arizona member. The biggest difference, when you, and it is part of the bylaws within the IFA bylaws, which are, if you're an Arizona resident, you have a right to run for the board. You have a right to vote for the board members as a paying member of IFA, not a free member, an actual paying member of IFA. So that is going to continue. So there is an age requirement now because we don't want somebody below the age of 21 being able to join the board. So if you do want to become a member, you can become a member of IFA. You must be an Arizona resident and 21 years of age in order to join right now. And this portal will take you either to the Arizona or the non-Arizona. When you join as an Arizona resident, you are going to get taken here. We have decided to go ahead and introduce a tiered membership. When you become a member at the $25 level, which hopefully many of you are on this call, you will be grandfathered into this already. What we are going to do, you will get access to those 4 networking meetings that we have a year, but you'll also get access to 2 workshop or specialty speakers. And those are going to be based on what you find most informative. And if you decide to go to the next tier up, so that's the $25 level, you go one more tier up to the $50 level, you get access to more of those meetings. You get 4 instead of 2. And then again, for the $75 level, you'll get access to another 2. So you'll have access to 6 meetings. These meetings are going to be what we get asked about most. How do I crowdfund? What about contracts? All of these different things that are affecting you. How do I get distributors? How does that work? We are bringing in professionals to come in and teach you how this works. That includes getting an actual entertainment lawyer to come in, talk about contracts, getting someone to talk about what are copyright and trademark issues. How do I forego those, or how do I work on them so that I don't cost my film distribution because I didn't cover these aspects? This is all based on what we've talked to you guys about in the past, what we've talked to you about in the last few months. So that is going to allow you to come in. We're going to have a webinar style system where you'll come in, you'll get to go ahead and take part in these meetings. And all your membership does, the higher levels you go, is allows you to more access of those. We are also creating a Vimeo channel where you can go in and access those. Once you viewed them as a member, you can go back and watch them again. These are not things we want to share within each other. So this isn't something where we want a group of you to become members. And, so we're going to highly police how people get access to this content. But we're also not going to make it hugely expensive for non-members. So let's just say that you're a member who wants to just attend whatever free events we have. We welcome you. We want you to keep coming. We want to get to know you. We want to help build your career however we can. But you are also going to have the opportunity that if we have someone come in and talk about crowdfunding, how does that work? How do I most effectively crowdfund for what the project I'm doing? You can pay a small fee and get access to that. So we're allowing people to come in and attend these webinars for a small fee. We're not going to make these exorbitant prices. We're going to keep it with a manageable structure, but we also want your input. We also want to know what it is you're looking for. What are the things you want to know? Who are the people that you want to be brought to the table? Is it an entertainment lawyer? Is it somebody talking about business insurance? Is it somebody talking about how do I set up an LLC, or should I set up an S Corp, or should I become a sole proprietor? What are the rules for me in a production when it comes to COVID restrictions? And am I allowed to not hire somebody for whatever reasons? These are questions that we want you to say, hey, this is what I need to know. These are the pain points in my production process. So those are how we're revamping membership for everybody. And we want you to come in. We want you to explore the site. We have all of the levels of membership. And however you decide to engage with IFA, we want to be here for you. We're at an unprecedented time right now with COVID. So that is one reason we are not having in-person events. We are sad about that. Honestly, the entire board would love to have an in-person event, and we are discussing how that's going to work. Also understand that IFA is a corporation. We are a business. If we have an in-person event, we have to cover it with business insurance. We are liable if something happens at that event. So we have to talk to our lawyers to find out how can we move forward to keep our membership base safe and also not end up getting ourselves in trouble in the legal world. And every business I know who has their toe in the industry or is a membership business has to think about this right now. How do we move forward and stay safe and also cover ourselves so that IFA doesn't get taken down by any litigation because of something happening within the production realm or within a meeting? So please, we do not take this lightly. We are not sitting, simply just saying, nope, let's not have meetings for convenience. Not at all. I would love to have in-person meetings. I would love to meet you guys all one-on-one. I would love to hear the questions you have. That interaction is essential to any member organization that we have. One of the other things that I get asked most about, incentives. Here is what we in the board have decided in moving forward with incentives. This year and next, we are not going to entertain the idea of backing any incentives until we have a change in legislation and the viewpoint of incentives shifts. If you are interested in learning more about incentives, how that works, pushing for incentives, there is a group in Arizona, the Arizona Film and Media Coalition. Their purview is all about incentives. We don't endorse or we positively are not trying to push you towards them. I don't know exactly how they work, how they're working towards incentives. They fundraised in a crowdfunding campaign to go ahead and get a lobbyist. It's not something we will do. I will tell you, incentives will come back to Arizona. I guarantee you they will. It is just going to take some time, and it is going to take efforts of our community here. There are movies getting made regardless of incentives. There are many of us, myself, Laura Cordell, you, Rebecca Kozowski, and many other filmmakers that are on the front lines of making sure that we are pulling in productions to Arizona. So there's no way that the state will continue to take a blind eye to the fact that more money can be had there. Just be patient. That's all I ask. Just asking for your patience right now, because it's like throwing, mud at the wall. There's nothing. We can't talk our legislature into something that they're not ready to do. And they haven't been ready to do it. There have been, and I will tell you, in the last 5 years, there have been 10 plus different bills that have come forward in our state legislature. Every single one of them gets shot down. So I don't want us as IFA to waste our time and energy pushing for something that's not going to happen. And right now, the state is concentrating on many other things that it's having issues with in the education system and mask mandates. They are overburdened right now. And the second aspect to this is, in order for us to get a state incentive, there has to be a pool of money. And I don't think a lot of people realize that this is how it works. When somebody comes in and brings a movie and they spend $1 million, and we have let's say a 30% incentive that they're entitled to, and they spend $1 million in our state, they get a check for $300,000 and be on their way. Where does that $300,000 come from? It has to come from a pool of money that the state creates. I don't want to create bad blood within the state where we're pushing for an incentive when people need healthcare, when people need all kinds of other programs, education isn't being funded correctly. That's going to be very bad press for us if we're pushing for an incentive when there's no pool of money. And yes, incentives can be done different ways, but if you all look back in history, when the state of New Mexico introduced their incentives, they actually got sued because they were not paying their incentives back. Their rebates were not being met. That pool of money ended up getting used for other purposes and not for their incentives. And it caused a huge conflict and many, many, many years of litigation before the state decided to start paying back that money, and ended up having cost them even more than what they had. Now the state looks great. Everybody lauds New Mexico for this, but they had a very troubled, storied past in the beginning of their incentive program. I don't want that to happen in Arizona. So we are keeping an eye on all of this. We're business minded in this group. We understand how incentives work, why they're there, and who we need to speak to. Tonight and today and this year and next year, just not the time for that. But let us assure you, we understand the ins and outs of incentives. We understand incentives are desperately needed, and we want them to be here. So it is not because we don't want them. They absolutely will eventually become part of our society again. So I just wanted to let you guys know that we are not taking this lightly, that there are plans, and we will come forward in the future. And if we have a big enough push in our membership base, we will create a committee and we'll start concentrating on that. But now and next year are not the time to do that. And we will definitely revisit that. So those were the big questions that we had that I wanted to make sure we covered in this meeting. Now, I want to go ahead and open it up. We're also going to get to a networking portion. So I hope you guys, I made this meeting 2 hours. If anybody needs to hop off, you feel free. But more than likely, moving forward in the future, these meetings are going to be at least an hour and a half, if not longer, so that you can have time to network with each other. And we as a group can get to know each other in a real way. And we will get to introductions from everybody in the group. But first, I want to go ahead. Does anybody have questions they want to go ahead and ask right now? And feel free, and this, I want you guys to go ahead and unmic. And let's just do popcorn style. If there's any pertinent questions over what I've covered so far. Everyone's so quiet.
Daryl has his hand up.
He's had his hand up since the beginning of the meeting. So Daryl, if you want to unmute, feel free.
Well, I'm fascinated by what everybody said, but I just wanted to say, as the founder of the Arizona Film Expo, thank you so much to Jeannie, of course, as well as to Lisa, Rebecca, Laura, and Alan Williams, other people that are on the board currently. But Jeannie was instrumental in making the first Film Expo happen, was the voice of reason when I wanted to go crazy with our hosts, and the ankle kicker when I wanted to really go crazy with our hosts. So Jeannie, thank you so much for everything that you've done for all of us for the last 3 years.
Fantastic. Does anybody else have any other questions that they want to ask right now? Well, everyone's so quiet. Perfect. Then I would love for us to go around and start introducing ourselves to each other. That way everybody has time. So I'm going to go through my list. And Andy Mann, you are first on my list. If you want to unmute and tell us about yourself and what brought you into the IFA meeting today.
I didn't have anywhere else to go. No, IFA has been one of the greatest things I think that there's been in Tucson. I mean, the meetings have been great. Every single one of them has had information that you can walk away from and apply. It's a great bunch of people. And I'm glad to see it continuing. I'd like to welcome all the new board members. I recognize quite a few of you, and hope to see y'all again real soon, at least in a couple of months, right?
Absolutely. No, we're going to have another meeting very soon. And I'm going to put that date out very soon, but don't worry. We're going to keep engaged with all of you guys.
All right. Thank you.
You got it. Philip, you're next in my list.
And here I am. My name's Philip Sedgwick. For those of you who don't know me, I am a writer and now director. I currently have a short film that's out in the festival circuit. We've got into 38 festivals so far. I am about ready to enter the Arizona International Film Festival as soon as they damn well open, and we'll be putting in there. And we're screening at the screening room on the 23rd of September with our film with Arizona Underground. And the other thing I just wanted to mention is, of course, I'm a writer. I'm here. I bought some lights, and I bought 3 Draycast LED Fresnels, and I have stands and some other things. So if anybody's interested in renting those at any point in time, shoot me an email and we'll work something cool out.
Fantastic, Philip. Congratulations and thank you so much. And I think the person who's sitting next to you, in my view, probably could help you with the Arizona International Film Festival. Mia Schnebly, I would love for you to unmic and tell us about yourself and what brought you into the meeting, and introduce yourself to the group.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mia Schneibel. I am the Director of Development and Marketing for the Arizona International Film Festival. And we are going to be celebrating our 30th film festival next April. So they're very excited by that. Submissions are going to be opening soon. They're going to be opening either late October, early November. So we'll make a big announcement on that. We have a lot of exciting things planned out. If not for films, but if you had an event like Daryl's Arizona Expo, you need to look at the Visit Arizona incentive grants Part 1 is already closed, but part 2 is going to be opening soon. So if you have a COVID-related event malfunction because of COVID, the state is having this grant, and it's not for films though, it's only for events. So you definitely want to look into that because we don't want Phoenix to get all the money. And I'm here today because I've been part of IFA way back since it was a FASA. So, and I'm excited about this. Every new president always has a new little angle. And so I'm excited about what the new angle of this one's going to be. So,
And I think overall the mentality is we're a 501c3, we're going to start acting like it, you know, and so we're moving with the big boys now. So and we've reached out to, and just to let you know too, I reached out, I have an immense I spent immense time of my with ArcLight and with other organizations working in the nonprofit world. So I have some great mentors, including Michael Peel, who runs Local First, oh gosh, just so many people who are reaching out so that we can really make you know, independent film Arizona what it should be in the nonprofit world. Mia, I would love for you to send me an email with all the details, because these is something I want to start also, is to start posting all of this information. So that Visit Tucson grant that you spoke about for businesses would be something great for us for events, because there are many members of IFA, especially on the Facebook page and in the group, that run events. So that would be super helpful to them. And anything in regards to the Arizona International Film Festival, please let us know what we can do to help promote that and to help with submissions or whatever else it is. And feel free, Peter or Philip, if you want to post about the rental equipment that you have, do that in the IFA group also. I want that to be open so that there's more collaboration between you guys, that if there are things that you want to help each other out with, you know, please feel free to post that. And if you're not a member of the Independent Film Arizona group, please become a member, and that way you can communicate with each other. So next on my list, I have actually a past board member also, Roger Harmon. I would love for you to go ahead and unmic, tell us about yourself, Roger, and what brought you into the meeting and any good stuff you want to share.
Well, thank you, and welcome aboard, you and all the board members. I'm really enthused to see the energy that looks like is being created here, and will carry on. I was on the IFA or IFASA board at that time. Alan was on the board when I was. And I went to my first meeting. And by the second meeting, I was on the board. And shortly thereafter, I was the treasurer. And then I was the secretary, or maybe those were reversed. So I've got a lot of experience with the board of directors of this organization. By day, I help people with their Apple computers. I'm also a media consultant, helping people spruce up their appearance on their video conferencing. And whenever I get a chance, I work on productions. I've been very active in the documentary now production collab group with Anne. And that is what I have done.
Fantastic, Roger. Thank you so much. And thank you for all your past help with IFA. All of the past members of the board have really helped continue IFA in you know what it's done for the entire state of Arizona. So we appreciate your service to that. And so next on my list, I have David. David, is it David Fee?
David Fay, actually.
It's so
Yes.
nice to meet you, David. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the group and tell us about yourself and what brought you into the meeting.
Sure. So I've studied acting under Jeannie Joseph, thank you so much, since late 2018. And that's how, and from Jeannie's class, I was exposed to this thing called Independent Film Arizona. And I'm like, oh, wow, that would be really nice to be able to get to know the film industry from an Arizona standpoint, and maybe hopefully someday be able to contribute to that industry, whether it be as an actor on camera or behind the scenes. But unfortunately, COVID is a thing, and I've been extra cautious as far as maintaining strict quarantine. So I haven't been doing a whole lot of acting, unfortunately. But in the meantime, I have been writing some stuff. I have been writing some screenplays for short films, and I have written a few TV pilots, and I'm taking one stab at a feature film. So that's definitely something that's keeping me busy. And like I said, the reason why I joined IFA I think I joined IFA as a member. I need to double check to make sure my membership's still valid. Was, like I said, I want to be able to be more than just acquainted with the film industry, but also be able to be of some utility in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you so much, David, and thank you for your membership. We truly appreciate it. Next on my list, I have Marsha Forbes. Marsha, are you there? It looks like you unmuted, Marsha. We can't hear you, Marsha. Can anyone hear Marsha? No. For some reason, we can't hear you, Marsha. We'll circle back to you if you want to go ahead and get that issue fixed. That would be great. Next, I have Nina Shelton. Nina, so nice to meet you. Thank you for making it into the meeting. I would love for you to unmute and tell us about yourself.
Hi, everyone. It's nice to be here. I'm somewhat new to the group. I've come to maybe 2 meetings in the past and somewhat new to Tucson as well. So it's nice to be able to connect with people. I moved here about 6 months before the pandemic. And so I just kind of felt like I got missed out on a lot of opportunities to gather and meet people in person. So Zoom is the next best thing, but it's just not the same. But I work at the university and very much interested in storytelling, have been all my life, and hope to produce some scripted or narrative films. And so looking forward to connecting with the community here in the Tucson area.
Fantastic. Thank you again for being in here and coming into the meeting. We truly appreciate it. And Marsha, were you able to go ahead and get your microphone working? Do you want to try that one more time? No, for some reason, we still can't hear you, Marsha. You might want to try going out and coming back in. I'll let you back in if you want to do that really quick. So that might take care of the issue. So next we have Jana. Jana, it's so good to see you here. Thank you so much for making it into the meeting. Please unmute, tell us about yourself and what brought you into the meeting.
Hi, I'm Jana Siegel-Stormont, and some of you guys recognize me from way back when it was AIVF. I was the president way back then, so some of you guys aren't even aware of that. But since that, I'm concentrating more on sustainability, but I've been enjoying getting back to my roots of screenwriting and playwriting, and even doing some acting for that. So I actually directed a recycling movie a while ago that I also danced in. So that was kind of fun to do some dancing with some other middle-aged women. But also I did Regeneration, the Tucson Story, which was a virtual play reading. And so right now I'm kind of making the rounds at different environmental groups and some high schools and talking about the experience of working with the youth on that. So that was a really exciting and inspiring thing. I even worked with a Thahan Atham young woman who had never acted before. So that was really inspiring to, like, you know, she blew me away because, you know, she really, you know, we couldn't believe, you know, how great she acted, and she might have never done that, you know, if I hadn't nudged her out of her comfort zone. So that was really exciting. And I'm also, you know, I'm an actress, so I've been enjoying doing some like storytelling to just, you know, scratch that itch a bit. So anyway, I'm here because I want to see what's going on, what direction the group's going on, and to thank Jeannie for, well, she's gone now, but to thank Jeannie for the work she's done, and to thank all of you guys for stepping up to doing this, because I know it's a lot of work. And I appreciate that hard work you're doing and look forward to see what you do in the future.
Thanks so much, Jana. Thank you so much for being here. And so someone who I know really well and actually worked on the recycling video with Jana, my husband, Bobby Francis, he's next in the line. I would love for Bobby to unmute and oh, there he is. We can see him too. Hey there.
I'm the shy one. I was hoping to scoot underneath the radar there.
No. And we can all give Bobby a huge thank you, because there was a lot of things he rescued from IFAs. We almost lost our domain, independentfilmarizona.com and .org. They were going to let it go away and Bobby went and rescued it. So he has been my IT guy Luckily, the experience I have with webs, we've been able to update the website, but anything that gets too complicated, he's the guy. So you can,
I guess I'm the unofficial CTO of IFA. Not
absolutely.
the board members
so
haven't voted yet.
Yeah, exactly. He just gets pizza from me on ArcLight's budget, and
My
and
payment.
something exciting too, guys, that we were Laura had a great idea for a video to do promotions for IFA and ArcLight. Since I happen to know a company that has equipment and amazing filmmakers, we actually started shooting over the weekend the first part of a promotional video so that we can get out there professionally and start promoting IFA with high caliber video work. So thank you so much. Bobby was our DP on that, and Laura was our director and our screenwriter, and Aaron was in there as our AD and just doing everything else. So you'll get to see some really fun footage here in a short while. So Bobby, I would love for you to tell the group about yourself and of course what brought you in here other than being married to the president of IFA.
Which I'm a very lucky man for. First of all, I just want to say that you all need to check out Jenna's recycling video. And it was not just because I was involved, it was such a fun project. It turned out so good. I'm so proud to be involved. Thank you, Jenna, for letting me partake in that. Geez, I have a background in post-production. That's what my degree is animation and special effects, and I absolutely love it. I've branched out to also learn post-production sound and sound design. I've been doing it for over 20 years now. But I also shoot. I'm a DP, AC, or assistant camera. I just love doing that type of work, the creativity, but best of all, it's working with you guys in the community and the friendships and the bonds that are created over that. And do you have any other questions for me, Lisa?
No, I just wanted you to introduce yourself and so people can get to know you, because if there's a big issue, Bobby will probably be the one to fix it. So if you guys bring up, issues with whatever it is, he's my.
Oh yeah, if you guys have any post-production questions, feel free to let me know. I can do a little bit of post-production supervising, so I can look at scripts and see what would be expensive and what would be, costly. I've done that for several projects. So yeah, let me know.
And that's what I love about IFA. And I really want us to be that collaborative to just be able to kind of pick someone's brain to say, hey, do I need to worry about this? Because, the industry is there's so many people that do so many different jobs. And there's probably someone locally that can help you out. So we want to be that resource where you guys reach out to us if you're looking for something specific. And that's also something I'm going to be adding to the IFA page, is all the links to the film office. What I love is the Marana Film Office actually has a list of all of the film festivals that is accurate and up to date. So we're going to have a lot of links on the site now that will help you. Like, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that. We want to be that resource for you guys. And we want you to send your friends our way to say, hey, I have a friend looking at filming in Arizona. We'll have everything, the links to the Tucson Film Office, to everything imaginable that's reputable, so we can be helpful. Did you want to say something, Mr. Francis?
No, it was, I'm on my little iPhones. What's that?
You look like you were waving, so I'll go ahead. You want me to mute you then?
Sure.
Okay. He's on his iPhone. So next in my list is Robert Ewald. Robert, I would love for you to unmic and tell us what brought you into the meeting and about yourself.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? I've attended meetings over the years, just, casually, just to touch base on what's going on. I'd like to, I don't know, oh, that's right. Jeannie stepped off, but I was really happy with what she was able to do with this organization for the 3 years that she was there. The history of this organization kind of wavers from relevance to semi-irrelevance, and she was able to actually really make it quite a relevant organization. So kudos to her for sure. My interest in the industry, actually, it goes back actually to the early 80s, where I used to work in the Minneapolis, St. Paul, up in Minnesota, that film market. And I've been here I used to do assistant directing, and then I moved into actually studio development. I came here in 11 years ago in 2010, and I ended up being pushed into looking at this market. When I moved here, I didn't know anybody, professionally or personally. And I started looking at this market and learning quite a bit about it. And my background in studio development and knowing quite a bit actually about, the film incentives, being up in Minnesota, we saw the very beginnings of it beginning in 1990, actually, on how this whole animal was created. And so I've developed, I've got a studio project that's in development currently. It's called Summit Studios. Website is thesummitstudios.com for anybody that's interested that doesn't know about it. But my overall focus, quite frankly, is beyond the studio. I'm actually interested in the superstructure of what a production center actually is. There's a difference between a production market and a production center. And a production center has 3 distinct legs, which I call the power trio. And I've been focusing on all 3 of those. They are, state film office, an incentive package of some type, and then of course the infrastructure. The studio's dealing with the infrastructure, but I've also been focusing since actually 2012 is when I really started looking into this. I've been developing plans for actually all 3 since then. And so that's what I'm engaged in now. I just wanted to touch on, since you mentioned the incentives, it's a good idea to just back off of that. As you mentioned, there is an organization. You mentioned AFMC. Yeah, they're actually moving out of the picture. They've been around for 10 years and have produced absolutely nothing. And there is another organization actually that's Tucson-based that intends to actually address this issue in a very responsible way to actually get results. Certainly in a different way than AFMC has approached it. So I would say just rest assured, yes, this issue has been looked at intently, and there is an organization that is dealing with it and is going to continue to deal with it with actually a real plan. So I think that's about it. I would say if you want to know more, go to the website for the studio. Also, I'm on LinkedIn if you want to see some more background. I know a lot of people have mentioned, yes, I'm also a U of A graduate in 2015 with degrees in finance, entrepreneurship, and I did do a minor as well in the film program, in film production. So, and I did that actually because, as I said, I didn't know anybody. So I figured that was a really good way to get plugged in to try and understand what's going on in this market. And it was very, very beneficial. So I'll leave it at that, and anybody can reach out to me. There's ways of reaching out to me if you care to. So, but that's why I'm here. I wanted to know what your plans are is the big thing. I tell you, it's one of my responsibilities is to continue to be aware of what is going on around here. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Robert. I appreciate it. And thank you for the update about I have no idea who else are working on the incentives since it's just been such a hot button issue. So,
well, it is. And quite frankly, I mean, it's because I've gone to the meetings and everybody talks about it and people parrot it and they really don't understand what they are. Actually, I've written 2 reports about it. That was part of my research, for the studio. And, I do know about it, and there is a way of dealing with this that it hasn't been done with before. And actually, I already started working on this over 4 years ago, quite frankly. And some pieces are already in place.
Gotcha.
So it is under control. Let me just put it to you that way.
Oh, exactly. But we need to have some, changes in our government before we can really get somebody to really look at it. So I appreciate the work that you're doing for that. So, and feel free to email me with any updates that you have, and that way we can keep the membership updated.
Sure. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You got it. And so the next we have Bailey Renee. Bailey, are you there?
I am. I'm just driving, so I cannot show my face.
No worries. I actually just met Bailey the other day. She had some questions, and I invited her to come in and sign up and just join us for this meeting. So I'm glad you made it. So please tell us about yourself and what brought you into the meeting today.
Well, you definitely brought me into the meeting today, as you just said. But I am a Tucson local, an actor as well, and lived in New York for a little bit. And just as an actor, I feel like it's important to understand how the set works. So I actually worked on quite a few. I was on the season 6 of Elementary as a PA. So I worked that entire season, and then throughout that time, I was also on some other like major TV shows and films, and just kind of really dove in and wanted to learn more about how this major set works, because here in Tucson, there's not a lot of those big sets happening. So moved to New York, didn't love it, moved back to Tucson, and just kind of, I teach Pilates as well. So that's kind of like my main day job, as you will. But love acting. I've done some interning with Bella Hibbs at Good Faith Casting, doing some casting as well. So I kind of just like to dip my toe in a little bit of everything to get kind of that behind the scenes thing. But I do love casting, and I do, even though PA work is hard, it is fun to kind of be in that environment, even when you're not on the acting point. So that is why I'm here, just to kind of learn more. This is my first meeting, so yeah.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you coming in, and hopefully we can talk you into membership. One of the first kind of seminar workshops we were thinking of, because we have some major productions coming into town, was to have a set etiquette class, and just kind of teach people like what the rough overview of that, because that tends to be the biggest thing is, things like not talking to the director, making sure you don't, if you're on a union set, why it's different than being a non-union set, and just different things, because we're going to have a lot more interactions with major productions soon, and we want to be up to date with that. So the next person on my list here is Leo Taylor. Leo, I would love for you to unmic and tell us about yourself and tell us what brought you into the meeting today, if you're there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you see me now?
We can.
All right, very good. So, yeah, this is kind of a surprise because I didn't know there was a meeting tonight. But I got an email. I got several emails, and I'm like, I'm gonna check in to see what's going on. So it appears there's some changes afoot there in the Tucson camp. So yeah, I'm originally from New York, or some people there call it New York. And I live in the Phoenix area now. I haven't been to Tucson yet, but one of these days I'll make it down there. I'm an audio engineer by trade, hence the big headset. But over the last several years, I've been moving into doing more writing and voiceover work. So as far as films go, I've done every job on set except for hair, makeup, and wardrobe, and that might be next. You never know. But yeah, I'm interested to see what the film community there in Tucson is doing. I have attended the Zoom meetings before this year. But yeah, interested to see what people are doing, what your plans are for the future. And if you want to know what I think filmmakers everywhere need to focus on sound, like way more than what they're doing, because I support independent film, from like an artistic place. But when I hear bad audio, it's really It's really, you're making it challenging for me, you know? And I want to support local film, but honestly, there needs to be way more of a focus on sound. And I'll even say that for the stuff that's coming out of Hollywood, especially in the last 5-10 years. I mean, I see movies with big multi-million dollar productions and the sound isn't even right. Because if you have to put on subtitles because you can't hear the dialogue, or somebody messed up somewhere, you know? So it happens even on the big, you know, 50, 100, $150 million films. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's me. And yeah, just really interested to see what people are doing down south there.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on in. And from your lips to God's ears on sound, I'm actually a production sound mixer and have been for 25 years. I'm also a sound designer.
Nice. So we speak the same. We speak the same audio language.
And my husband is probably laughing his butt off, and
Yeah.
so is Edgar Ibarra, because we just Edgar hired us to fix some audio for a project he worked on, and so
I heard it, and that's all I'm going to say. You know, because I get invited. You know, before the whole COVID lockdown, I would get invited to go to screenings. You know, for films up here in Phoenix, and I would check out the trailer online, and the sound. And this is no offense to anybody, but the sound was so bad on the trailer that I didn't want to like subject myself to it at the theater. So I would, hey, are you coming out, Leo? Oh, I'm busy. You know, I want to support your films, but it's like film is what happens when picture and sound come together. Absolutely. And if the focus is on the picture, you don't have a film, you have a picture, and unless it's like a visual tone poem, non-narrative piece, your sound has to be stellar, because you don't get the same leeway with sound than you do with picture. You just don't. Your tolerances have to be way tighter, and if they're not, the audience checks out. So, and I could talk about that forever, but thank you. Thank you for having this meeting tonight. I didn't know it was happening, but it's been a pleasant surprise.
Awesome. No, and I'm so glad. And I'm going to make sure we're going to be much more active on social media in every realm. I was able to wrangle back the Twitter account. There was a lot of accounts that kind of just went away because nobody was manning them. Most all of them are being manned now. The last thing I'm trying to get access to is there are 2 Instagram accounts. I'm trying to gain access to one of the accounts that was started before the newest one was started this year. And that's the last one I want to try to grab a hold of, but everything else is up to date. So you can interact with us. I even went and retrieved the LinkedIn account too. So that one will soon be more active also.
Yeah.
So I'm making sure that we're connected with everybody. So however you want to connect with us, but thank you so much for being at the meeting. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got it. And so the last person, Marsha, were you able to get your audio up and running?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I had to switch computers. Okay, hi everyone. Well, maybe by my accent, you can know I'm Jamaican by birth. And I came here, well, my background in theater arts and drama and education. That's how I got my first degree. And then I came here to the US, New York, to study directing and film. Started, but could not finish. 2 semesters left for me to finish. So I had to either find another school that was much cheaper or go back to Jamaica. So what I did, I went to Monroe College and I pursued an MBA. Not something that I wanted, but it worked out very well for the time being. And it's helped me to pay my bill living in New York and all of that. And after getting my citizenship, I was able to go to Northern University in California and pursue professional screenwriting because I wanted to go back to something that I really wanted to do. But after finishing, I've been trying, in 2018, I try to find groups that I could join up with to collaborate and to get an idea of the film industry, because all I know about stage play, and it's still different here from what I'm used to in Jamaica. So I joined IFA last year, attended some of the meetings, and I got my email during the week and I said, I'm going to come back, see what is there. And I'm hoping that this time I can work with practically everybody or want to work with me, so I can learn the art of filmmaking and directing. So I'm here to learn and collaborate.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Marsha, for being in this meeting. It's so appreciated. And I thank everybody for coming to this meeting. Is there anything else anybody wants to cover? Daryl, was there anything else that you wanted to cover? Because I know you had a lot going on. So if there's anything else anybody wanted to share about anything, I want you guys to feel free, because I know I had the rest of the board speak for themselves. But if there's anything else that the board, any of the board members wanted to mention, just personal stuff or business stuff, feel free, Erin.
I just, I had something, I don't know if you mentioned it. I know you mentioned that everyone that is a current paid member, they're coming in at tier 1.
Yes.
But did you mention anything like about if they're interested in, say, a tier 3?
Oh,
if we're going to be offering.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for reminding me about that. So if you guys have become in, I actually have, and David asked about this because he wasn't sure if he was updated with membership. I have the updated membership list and it shows exactly. So unfortunately, when one of the last boards, there used to be a reoccurring fee where many of you, which is amazing, would just get the reoccurred fee and they would just get their membership renewed. And then for some reason they switched over to a one-time fee. So some people fell off of our membership, not realizing they're no longer members. So we put back the reoccurring fee. So this will be, every year it'll renew on whatever credit card you have. So be aware, it is an auto renewal. We've gone back to that. So anybody who joined within this last year, I want you to, anybody who's joined in 2021, we will grandfather you guys in to the tier 1. And let's say you look at tier 2 and say, man, I really would love to be part of tier 2. All we're going to ask is for the difference in price, which is $25. So if you're already a member and you became a member as of January 2021, and you look at the tier 2 and say, yes, I would like access to more meetings, then email us directly, either Independent Film Arizona at Gmail or Film Arizona, which is the one I'm using for my personal presidency. Just email, reach out to us however you see fit. And then what we'll do is we'll just make sure you're a current member for this year. And then we'll just charge you, we'll send you out a little thing so you can just get charged to go to that $50 level or that $75 level. Thanks for reminding me, Erin. So that basically you're prorated into that. So if you're like, hey, I want to really have access to more of IFA, we'll make it happen. However that works, we'll make it happen.
And I didn't discuss it with you, but since a lot of people have already ducked out of the meeting, we will, I'm sure, be releasing that in either email form. It's definitely going to be on the website. So, share it with other people that you know that are members. And if they need to go, hey, you know what, I'm not sure if I'm still a member, use those emails that Lisa just gave us, and we'll reiterate those are on the website as well. Shoot an email, hey, I'm not sure if I'm still a member, and someone will get back to you with the data. So
and everything on the website is up to date. The contact us, all of that, I've updated all of it, guys. So if you get in touch with us, it'll ping one of the numerous accounts that we have that were started by different IFA presidents started all different accounts. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm checking all of them until we take it and whittle it down. Thanks to Mr. Bobby Francis, who rescued a lot of our domains. So we make it easy. So then it'll just be like, contact us with this one. So we're just in process, guys. We're in process of just cleaning a bunch of stuff up. So anybody else have any other questions? Gerald, did you want to add anything else to the meeting?
Thanks. We're going to be doing the Arizona Film Expo on the radio again this year, which is always amusing for those of us in audio and video, those of us in visual productions to be able to do film on the radio. So we'll be doing that with Zach Yenser the second week of October in conjunction with Herb Stratford's Film Fest Tucson, which is also that weekend. So please, if you have something you'd like to share, let me know so we can try to schedule you in to be on the program. If you don't have something to say but want to listen, we'd sure appreciate it. And Elisa and Laura and I have already been talking about the second inaugural Arizona Film Expo. I don't know if you can have a second inaugural, but we're going to do it anyway. And why not? In 2022 at the Marriott Star Pass Hotel, thanks to our good friend at Marriott, who is a film supporter, by the way. So if you guys need hotel rooms for your film cruise, reach out to either Elisa or myself, and we'll put you in touch with our contact at Marriott. And other than that, exciting things happening in Old Tucson that we can't talk about. Elisa's already talked about the exciting other thing that we can't talk about. So there's a lot that's exciting that we can't talk about. So I'm just glad to see some fresh ideas coming in. And again, thanks to Jeannie and Leela and all the previous past board members for keeping IFA floating. And here's the next 3 years.
Exactly. And what I will tell you guys, and this is the message I want you to spread. This isn't just Elisa's become president of IFA. This is where Elisa's going to put on her sassy pants. And IFA is about to move to the big stage. And filming in Arizona, in Southern Arizona, is about to move to the gigantic stage. This is the change. This is what you'll remember as the last meeting before everything started to change for amazingly good reasons. So please, and there's so much we can't talk about. We're not trying to be purposely cagey. We're not trying to act like we're more than because we know stuff. There's a lot of stuff we just cannot talk about, or there will be huge ramifications to it.
But we go to jail.
Yeah, exactly. But I will tell you, please stay engaged with IFA. Please come in and have other people come and join as members. Please, if you run an organization like me with the Arizona International Film Festival, we are looking for partnerships. We're looking to help. We're looking to take IFA to the legitimacy that past presidents like Eric Schumacher and Rosie Zwadek, and when Alan Williams was on the board, they strived to do this. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but we're going to make it happen now, because I am not going to stop until IFA becomes what it's supposed to become, which is a true entity to help the independent filmmaking in Arizona. There is so much talent here, guys. I know hundreds of professional filmmakers, professional crew that are working here and have worked here for the last 20 years. And that's what I'm telling you, is that we're not messing around. There is so much talent and work here. I just got off a job for an HBO documentary a couple of days ago. Bobby just got off a job working for the promotional video for the CDC for diabetes from Disney ABC. There is work, and how members of IFA don't realize where to find that work is crazy to me. So I'm going to make that accessible to you guys, because I work in the industry. Aaron works in the industry. Bobby works in the industry. We know how to get those jobs. We know where to go apply. That shouldn't be some veiled thing anymore. You know, Edgar knows of these jobs. Edgar, you know, it's like, we all know. We just want you to have access. So please go out and tell everybody, come here. We're serious now that IFA is moving into the serious realm of really helping grow this community so they can start working in the industry. And I was so glad that Bailey had come in there. That's how Bailey and I connected. I connected her with a job that is coming. And, you know, we need to start realizing that there are many gatekeepers, but we're ready to just say, here's the gate, come on in. We're going to show you how to get there. And that's what Laura is here for. That's what Rebecca is here for. That's what Edgar is here for, and every other board member. We're going to take the veil off, because we're about to move into the serious realm, and there's going to be a lot of work. I will tell you, with what's coming, Bobby got hired, and they literally were reaching out for different people because they couldn't find someone to fill positions here in Tucson. So they had to hire some crew from Phoenix. So there's a lot of work for the entire state for what's going to be coming. So just know that everyone's going to get super busy, and we're here to be that resource to say, hey, Elisa, you know, hey, IFA, I don't know where to go for this. Ask us. We'll figure out where to send you, because that's my job. We're Switzerland. We're I don't care about what film office doesn't like the other film office. I don't care about what directory has your name and which one doesn't. I don't care. If you're a legitimate film office, if you're a legitimate directory, if you're legitimately providing services to our filmmaking community, you are going to have access to IFA's website. You are going to be listed there. I want everyone in the entire world who says, I want to film in Arizona, to come to our website first and see where our resources are and be in touch to say, I want to go ahead and apply to be in the Arizona International Film Festival. Yep, here you go. Here's your link to go there. There's nobody in the entire state. There's so much infighting, and there's such a club of like, oh, but I don't want to do this. That has stopped. And this is the harsh reality. I am stopping all of that. We are becoming, again, Switzerland accessible to everybody. No more playing favorites. Everyone becomes a member of IFA. The only way you don't become a member is if you have done something egregious, as in Harvey Weinstein egregious, or stolen money from people. Then you will not be allowed to be a member of IFA. But everybody else, you're welcome. And we want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear what you want, because we're beholden to you. We want to provide what you need to succeed as a filmmaker in our industry, because the jobs, they're here, guys. And we have to step up our game, because we can't play like we know what we're doing. We have to know what we're doing. And we're here to provide that to you. So that's my big tough talk. That's Elisa, the leader, gonna take my, because I'm not messing around. And I'm to the point, I'm blunt. I am, and we have clear direction for IFA. And believe me, if there's a legitimate idea you have, we will bring it to the board. But I am not gonna sit there and listen to a lot of double talk and rhetoric. We're here to help you. We're here to serve you. And if there's something you want us to do, we're seriously going to think about doing that for you.
Before we wrap, because I know we're going to wrap up right now, there was a question from Leo in the link asking, Robert, do you have a website or a way that if you could just post it or contact Leo directly with how to contact you, or a website?
Oh, is it just, do they just want to link to the website?
Yeah, I believe it says, Leo said Robert, comma link, and then it's linked to website.
It's literally independentfilmarizona.com.
No, I think it was a way to contact Robert.
Oh, to Robert Ewald?
Yes.
Oh, Robert, did you put?
And I don't know if he saw the
I wasn't sure if that was me, but yeah, the website is the Summit.
Hey, Robert. Don't say it verbally. Put it in the chat.
All right. Oops. Okay.
It's already in the chat.
Oh, is it in the chat? Okay, thanks, Rob. Rob.
Okay, I didn't see it in the chat.
No, that's okay. And Robert, if you're not part of the Facebook group, become a member of the Facebook group and post your link in there too. And just say, hey, I attended the meeting, because there will be the live video we'll post in there, and just say, I attended the meeting. Some people wanted to reach out to me. Here's my info.
Excuse me. I got on the chat here. I'm a little late to the party, so I don't see the link because it doesn't go back that far.
Oh, perfect. Robert, go ahead and put that link in there again.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I don't see it scrolled.
Okay.
I just put both of them in. There's the website, and then my email is right underneath it. I just put it in.
Okay. And also note too, guys, so I have made sure to implement that we record all of these meetings now. So these meetings are going to be recorded, and then I'm going to actually create a page on the IFA page where you can link to go watch it. And the great thing what Zoom does, I record it with the chat embedded. So the chat's going to show up there. So I'm going to also post that, but also we're streaming live on Facebook to the Facebook page. So again, you can go in and watch the entire meeting if you want, again there. I also put it in the Facebook group. So anytime we have these networking meetings via Zoom, we're going to go ahead and load them up. Nobody should have to say, what happened in that meeting the other day? They're there. Everyone's going to have access. You're going to get in touch with somebody and rewind the meeting back and see what everybody has to say. And like I said, but the Zoom link chat will be the one that we populate on the Facebook, on the Independent Film Arizona website. And it's cool. We do it with our board meetings and stuff. It's actually really cool because the chat just shows up right there, and it shows and it's really big because I've got old lady eyes. So it'll be there for you.
We are, I know Robert, you said you posted it. It for some reason is not going into for everyone to see. I don't know if you send it personally to somebody, but
sure. Make sure that
we can.
Yeah. Hold on one second, Erin. I wanted Anne, you unmiked. I didn't want to skip over you, Anne.
Me?
Yeah. Did you want to say something? I just didn't want to go over because when I got into my big, sassy pant talk, you had unmiked, and I wanted to know if you had anything you wanted to add.
No, I'm.
No problem. And then Bobby Francis, did you have something to add? You were raising your hand.
I was just going to let you know that Robert's link did not post.
Okay,
so.
Gotcha.
I think, I think it got sent to Roger.
Oh, gotcha. It went direct instead of being in everyone.
That's I didn't realize that. That's what ended up happening.
Gotcha.
So I'm looking at this. How do I do the group?
There's a little drop down. See the little arrow? Go all the way to the top. And it should be everyone.
Everyone. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Here it comes, guys.
Perfect. Does anybody else? Oh, David, you had your hand up. David, would you like to? Did you have a question?
Sure. That's probably more like a Zoom related question. I'm not as tech savvy with Zoom as I should be, but are the DMs also going to be public? Because I know I've sent a few and maybe some.
No, unfortunately. So when you send a personal message to only one person, only if you recorded that or they recorded that are they accessible. So only the public chats are accessible to that.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. It's more from a host perspective and.
It is from the host perspective. I will verify once I go in and post this video. So I may be wrong, but as far as I know, I think those chats are just between the two participants in those chats.
I imagine those are going to be kept private.
I believe so. So I'm almost certain of that. But yes,
I think we've all been messaging.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was almost thinking I don't have any secrets to hide. Mine is more like I don't want to clutter the chat for the public view, but
sure.
I was thinking it's more like, wow, my train of thought just totally got derailed. I'm sorry.
No worries. And I can understand that. So yeah, and I'll announce that the next Zoom meeting. I'll let people know, hey, if you have questions for each other, feel free to make them public so they get recorded in the chat. But if somebody wants to keep a message private, then don't do that. So I'll preface that next time. Do we have anybody else that would like to add anything to the meeting? Oh, go ahead. Oh, Rebecca, were you waving?
You're muted.
She is.
I was just saying, I gotta go.
No, you go. If you guys gotta hop off. I'm just trying to make sure I answer anybody's question that's here. Thank you.
See y'all at the next thing.
Oh, just to follow up real quick, I am on the Facebook page.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So yeah, I'll jump over there and put my contact information in there as you requested as well.
Fantastic. Yeah. Like I said, if you know that you've done something in here, feel free to go. And I want there to be accessibility. I want everybody to be able to know who each other is and where each other are, because eventually we're all going to get to meet in person again. We're going to start having meetings again. We're going to start having large events. So I want you guys to get to know each other and start connecting with each other, because that's how great collaborations happen, when we start connecting as a group. So, all right. Does anyone else have any questions or anything else they want to add? Go ahead, Edgar.
Yeah, Alyssa. So I wanted to see if you wanted to share any words or could share any words with regards to IFAs or your vision with regards to micro budget filmmaking and whatnot. Like those of us here who have a camera and a handful of people, but still big stories, and we're very interested in telling our stories.
I think the biggest thing that I want, and it circles back to the vision I have for IFA, and it's accessibility. So I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs here in Southern Arizona. When I started Arclight Pictures, I literally told people I'm building an empire, and I am. And our empire has gotten quite good size. I have other friends that work in the business who we partner with on things, and they are business minded and ask me, oh, Elisa, at some point, are you going to stop doing local commercials or working with smaller people? No, Arclight is always going to have the purview of that entrepreneur who wants to start a business. That's one of the reasons we have a company called Bontify, where you can do a prefab video for $149 or $169. I always want to keep that starter person in mind, That is exactly what I want IFA to also be. If you decide that you're going to be one of the biggest names and start the biggest, if we have an Ava DuVernay who ends up coming out of IFA, which we will eventually, if you decide you want to build that empire just like Steven Spielberg, we will have those people. Those people are here. There's enough money and energy there for it. But if you're also that micro budget person who funds their own projects, who does that, you're still going to have access to that entertainment lawyer that we get to come on and do a seminar at a small fee for you. So you can watch that video to say, oh, okay, this is what I need to do. Even though I'm small, but I need to cover my butt with contracts. Even though I'm small, let me make sure that I have access to a meeting through IFA. So we're going to keep things low price. We're going to make it accessible for people so that you can learn. Oh my gosh, I need to crowdfund. How do I do that best? Hey, we're going to have a great gal who does professional crowdfunding around the world. Her name is Kasha. You guys are going to love her. Who's going to come on and talk about, here's what you do. Here's the strategy for that. We will never forget that that's how we all become professional filmmakers, is to start at the bottom. And that's learning. That is just that little by little. And so many of us still do projects where we just basically throw in a few $100 each and work together. I never want to lose that vision, because that is literally how the last 20 years filmmaking has survived here in Arizona. That whatever size project, whatever size you want to do, we're going to be your asset for that. And we're never going to forget. That's where we all started. Every single one of us started at that bottom with our first job, with our first, going to our first class to learn what we do. And I never want to take somebody that you don't have to have gone to school. You don't have to have stepped on a set ever in your life to learn how to become a filmmaker and have accessibility to great people within IFA. And believe me, because I have been a professional sound mixer for 25 years, I get paid crazy amounts of money. I get paid a minimum. My minimum rate is $1,000 a day to be on set. I get paid that by HBO, Viacom, anybody, to be on set to record audio. But you know what? If you have a passion project, I have a whole passion project rate system. I have all of these other things. Talk to me. That's the mentality of the filmmakers here in Arizona. Aaron has that mentality. Edgar has that mentality. We want to know what you're doing, because a lot of us got into this field because we loved it. So no matter what, I mean, even the biggest filmmakers who I'm friends with, even the most professional, I am very good friends with the local 695 LA sound mixers. They started a group that's worldwide. I'm in that group because I'm an elite sound mixer with people like Jeff Wexler, who does all the audio recording for Cameron Crowe's movies. He's worked on everything. The gentleman, I forget Simon's last name because I just know him as Simon. He's done all of the 007 movies. Those people belong in those groups. You know that they're on lists in our groups for passion projects. So that's the thing. Those of us who work in this industry never forget that. There's a group of us, so you guys are going to have accessibility to that group. So you can say, yes, I have a little bit more budget for this. Does that answer your question, Edgar, and the vision of what I have for that?
Yeah, definitely, because it's so important to, obviously myself, yeah, but not just me. So many people who want to roll up their sleeves, get in the dirt, pick up a camera, and sweat it out, with a few $100s, if not a few $1,000s. And so yeah, definitely. I mean, because there are those that want to work on the vision that we bring to the table also.
Absolutely.
I want to add one more thing to that. In terms of also how IFA is going to try to help facilitate some of that, especially for small budget, is, for example, I wasn't even unaware until about a week ago that Monsoon Production Services, who's an equipment rental house, has offered a 20% discount on equipment rentals for IFA members. So one of the things I think we're also going to try to build is more partnerships with business so that we can become more lucrative, because that's a win-win. It's a win for him to get the business. It's a win for us to get the discount. It also helps build community between filmmakers and businesses. And I know that specific happens to be a film business, but that doesn't mean that other businesses that don't really realize they can be within the film world aren't willing, catering, water, like all these things. So I know that that's also something that in the vision that wasn't necessarily 100% presented tonight, is that we want to come up with sponsor partnerships with some of these local businesses so that you can get those discounts as an IFA member. So I just kind of wanted to bring it in because it fits perfectly with that small budget. You need all the favors you can get.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up too, because I've taken it upon myself that I personally contacted so many members of our community, which past presidents really haven't done. And it's not a fault of theirs, but it's the fact that I see the business aspect. I see, how do I save you guys money? So when I was on the phone with Justin Kreinbreck, who owns Monsoon Production Services, he said, you know, Elisa, we offer this 20% discount. And I said, what? He's like, yeah, if you're a member of IFA at that $25 level, you get a 20% discount off of rentals. Nobody seems to know that. So that's the thing that we're going to keep putting on the website. And believe me, he's the first of many. And I have a bunch of meetings stacked up with people where I can sit down and say, okay, what can we do for you as IFA? And what can you do for us? And how can we partner up? Because again, Edgar hit the nail on the head. Micro budgets are really where it's at in Arizona. And they will always exist everywhere around the world. So we want to make sure that we're catering to anybody who is ready to make whatever they want to make, whatever way they want to do it, whether it's a YouTube video person, someone who wants to get really good at TikTok videos. We're going to help everybody. You know, we're going to stop. We're not going to be the snobs here. We're going to be the ones that just get in the dirt and exactly like Edgar said, sweat it out. Because you know how many professional movie sets I've been on, sweated it out. Are you kidding me? Like, oh my gosh, doesn't matter who you are. It's still hard work no matter what. So were there any other questions or comments anybody wanted to make before we wrap up? All right. Thank you guys so much for sticking with it. I literally was like, I knew this meeting was going to be long because I wanted each board member to get to say what they wanted. We have a clear vision, and I will just tell you, this is not the IFA that you've known the last 16 years. We got serious. We're a nonprofit. We're taking donations from any rich people that want to give us money. Feel free. I am reaching out to everybody I can. I am using every favor I can to build IFA to what it can be and what it will be. But that is essential with your input. And I want these questions to keep coming in. Please don't think you have any stupid questions, any comments. Don't ever think that. I am accessible. I will never, ever make you feel bad for what you don't know, because that's not what a real leader does. I'm here to lead IFA. And I am the type that likes to lead from behind, to watch, to make sure you guys are headed in the right direction, that we're all headed there together. Because the only way we're going to get there is together, guys. So please see that as our vision. And I'm just super excited. And I'm super grateful for every single person that hopped on this meeting tonight. I appreciate you carving out the time. So thank you guys so much. And I will be posting soon whatever the next meeting is going to be and how we're going to do that. And please tell me what you want from IFA. Email us at independentfilmarizona@gmail or at filmarizona@gmail. Tell us what it is that you want. Go to our website and contact us on the contact us page. I don't care. However you want to contact, and share the heck out of the website to all of those people that you care about, because the only way we build together is to build together. So, and I want everybody along with us, guys. So, all right, everybody have a wonderful rest of their evening and the rest of the week. Anybody who has questions, please do not hesitate and send anybody my way who wants to talk to me, because the board is open for us to talk to everybody that wants to have a word and where we're headed. So, all right, guys, have a great rest of your night. Thank you again. And I'm going to stop the recording first, and then